welcome to all you Geminis. Welcome to this yearly forecast in general for the sign of Gemini. For 2014, I will try to be as general as possible. And because of that, I'm going to have a look at your ruler Mercury, what he is doing. And I'm going to take a look at the outer planets and especially the challenges, but also the good stuff. So let's get started with your ruler, with Mercury, because Mercury is going again, as usual. Some periods it's going to be retrograde. So, and these are important periods for Geminis and Virgos, because it means that they are going to have to be a bit slower. For Gemini, that's not always easy, because most Geminis, unless they have a lot in Taurus or in other signs that are a bit more associated with slower energies, most Geminis, they just want to be quick and doing everything at the same time. Now, when Mercury slows down, it means that you're slowing down. And it will happen for the first time around February, when Mercury will go retrograde in Pisces. And so for you, that will be the Pisces will be your work. And I think work is going to be very important for Geminis during 2014, because you've got Neptune there, you've got Chiron there, and as I said, you're also going to have a retrograde there. So it means that you're going to think about your work. Maybe some of you will change jobs, and you won't do that just like that. That is why this Mercury retrograde in your 10th house of Pisces, and it's also going into your 9th house in Aquarius. So it means that you're going to change the way you think about what you believe in. And logically, it is a fact that people can change jobs because of that. So, and for the Geminis, it's a good thing when they are heading towards a new job or a different job or another job within a certain job. It's a good thing to include Neptune and to include Chiron. And why? Because it squares up to your sign. So especially for those Geminis who have planets around, let's say 3 up until 8-9 degrees of Gemini. So if you've got Gemini planets there, even a Venus or a Mars or a Mercury, you are going to have a Neptune aspect squaring up to that planet. And it is for the Geminis who are born, let's have a look, born around the 25th up until the end of May, or the 1st of June. So these people are going to sense this Neptune energy very well. And Neptune is about compassion, it's about seeing more than there is. And Gemini, it squares up to your sign. And Gemini, it's not always easy for Geminis to deal with Neptune energy. Why is that? Because Gemini, they want to see what's there. And they want to be clear about things. You know, just like the Virgos. They want to be clear about what is going on. And Neptune is saying, well, maybe you go to the left, and maybe you go to the right, and what about that, and what about that? And it can make you insecure. So a lot of Geminis can become insecure when it comes to their life path, when it comes to work, that they don't know, what do I want to do? And so the good thing is if you're heading for a new job, that it has the ingredients of Neptune and Chiron, that it has the ingredients of compassion. So it can be lots of jobs, of course. So there are lots of jobs that compassion is involved, that doing something for another is involved. If you are heading towards that, you're heading towards a very good path, because that reflects what is your path at the moment. It's trying to make you less interested in yourself, basically. Not to lose yourself, on the contrary, but to be able to do that to help others. There's a lot of helping others involved with work for you, and it can be very, very rewarding if you get in tune with that Neptune, if you're not fighting it. When you're fighting it, it means that you're in the mist, and that's okay as well. It means that you're going to shift, probably when the Neptune transit is over, then you will see clearly. It's only when the Neptune transit is at the very end of its transit that people are starting to see clear, and whether it was an illusion or not, what they were heading for. So don't make it an illusion, make it very real. And I think you Geminis can do that, because you are very, you know, you are an air sign, and you are there to connect with other people as well on a communicative level. And I think you can do that very well. So that is around February, March. And then the other Mercury retro is again in a water sign in Cancer, in your second house, around June. So that will be more a shift of thinking about yourself, because it's also going retrograde into your sign. Because it's going retrograde at the very beginning of Cancer, so it's going to be the later degrees of Gemini are going to be having that transit. So it means that you are going to think differently about yourself as well around that time, and it's good. It's good to think about how you communicate and how you're doing that. Maybe you're going to change some things considering yourself. And then, having Mercury in your sign, even when it is a retro, is a good sign. So around June, you are really going to change the way that you are. You know, a fundamental piece of your identity is going to change there. And then around October, there is another retrograde in Scorpio. And so that will be your day-to-day life that is reviewed. So maybe you're going to shift a couple of routines that make life easier. That's nice. And it's also your fifth house. So the fifth house has more to do with your self-expression. So maybe you're going to change things there as well. Now, but I think the really challenge of 2014 for the Geminis is more towards work related. And if you say, but I don't work, it has to do with what you do in society, or what you can deliver for society. Even when you, and how other people see you. If other people see you as the housewife that takes tremendous good care of your children, it's that part of you. You know, it's how other people see you in your social status, actually. And so that's going to be very important for you during that year. There's another thing that is really nice for you, and that is Uranus. Uranus is in Aries, and that is in the house that has to do with your friends and your hopes and aspirations for the future. And so it's really sudden shifts there. Maybe sudden shifts in friends, or maybe friends that you attract that you never thought that you would attract. There is this restlessness when it comes to your aspirations. So just be aware that it's there to change some aspirations for the future. So the things that you will have thought about in 2013 may not be the things, or that you have thought about maybe what you want to head at. You know, again, your path in your life can be totally different in 2014 because of that Uranus there. But it's going to make, Uranus is going to make a nice trine with Jupiter, because Jupiter is going to shift into Leo as from the middle of the year around July. And that is good for you, because Jupiter sextiles your sign, and Uranus is also sextiling your sign. So you will get what we call in astrology a little triangle, and that is good energy flow. So especially around July, August, September, watch out for the opportunities that you're getting there. It's a good time to pick them up, and you know, it can come to you, but you really have to respond on it as well. So a good time to have some new opportunities. and it's in the third house is Jupiter. So anything that has to do with communication will enhance. Anything that maybe internet, doing stuff on the internet, or maybe communicating, or maybe teaching, or maybe studying, or anything that broadens your day-to-day thinking is enhanced here, which is very nice to have, especially because it's in a nice flow with your sign, with Gemini. So new things, and very exciting for you. Saturn stays in Scorpio, so it stays in that 6th house of yours. So again, work can be a bit of that you feel that you don't get enough compliments maybe, or that you have some colleagues that are not always the easiest ones to work with, or that you just have a lot of work. So that stays a bit the same during 2014, but it's a really good time to change your how do you call it, your routines. So the routine that you do day to day, whether it is sending the kids to school, or driving them to school, or your day-to-day work that you do, there is some harshness in it. So it can mean that you really have to put a lot of effort into it to get all those things done, but that is there to structure it better. So you can put some effort into restructuring your routines, and that is a very good thing actually. So actually it's a year for you, 2014, to work hard. I can't put it otherwise, and to put a lot of effort in work, and therefore the relationships will, I think, will support you. I really think they will do that and become even more important and more important as you proceed during the year. Now Pluto is in your 8th house, and am I correct? Pluto is in your 8th house, yes. And Pluto, where it's for the whole year there, and Pluto is where we need to transform, when we need to transform and change on a very deep level. The 8th house is the deepest, it's a very deep house. It's a house of many things. It can be a house of the joint finances that you have with the person who's close to you, that there are great shifts to be taken. So maybe loans, or maybe that already happened in last year, but things that really are shifting there, and that you sometimes you have a bit of fear of, but you have to go through it no matter what. The 8th house is the house of fear, and Pluto is actually forcing you to face that fear, but you have the time to do that. As I said, it's a whole year there, so it means that you're taking your steps, you're being courageous. You need to be courageous, but you're doing it in battling your fears, with little steps, and with one step forward, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, and so on. But you're actually getting better and better at it. It may not seem that way, but it is, because it forces you. Pluto demands of you to change on a very deep psychological level. And the 8th house is a very psychological house. It's the house of the taboos. So whatever you think is a taboo for you, whether it is God, whether it is work, whether it is sexuality, whether it is what is for you taboo in your life, what do you want to hide, that is what it is best for you to deal with, but not to do that in one day. You've got the time for that, and I think that's very good for the Geminis. So I talked about Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter. I talked about your ruler as well. Now the last thing I want to talk about is Mars. Normally I don't do this in the general yearly horoscopes, but now, because Mars is only 2 months mostly in one sign, but now it's there for 8 months. It's 8 as already from December of 2013. Mars has shifted into Libra. And this is really good for you Geminis. For other signs it's not all that good, but for you Geminis and the Aquarians, it is very, very good energy. Why? Mars being so long, for 8 months in the same sign, means for all of us that we are going to act hopefully in an assertive way, not in an arrogant way, but in the most assertive way that we can do. Because it's a wake-up call for, hey, you've got to take that power back, or you've got to take that power. And it is considering your 5th house, which is very nice, very, very nice energy there, because it trines with your Gemini energy. So it means that you are going to be, that most Geminis will have a lot of energy in 2014. Normally they already have, but in 2014 you will have energy. And use that to do the things that I just mentioned. And the 5th house, again, it's one of the funniest houses, the best houses, the joyful houses. It's the house where you create, not only where you create children. It's not only the house of sexuality and romance. It's especially when you are single and you haven't had a relationship for a long time. I think that's gonna change with Mars there, because you are long for it. Mars is where our desires are. If you are in a relationship, you are going to feel more that you can express yourself. So not only into your sexuality, but also in how you express yourselves with one another, you know, in communication level, all kind of levels. And that is really, really good for you Geminis. Also children, you're going to be active with your children. You're going to do stuff with your children. And that is nice as well. You're going to have a more active role in that. You're going to put your Mars in there, put your energy in there. Maybe you have dreamt of a passion that you had as a kid, or maybe as a younger person, and now you're picking that up and you're doing that. And maybe that is going to help you to shift towards the shifts that you want to do at work. So a lot of good energy there. And it can come with peaks, because especially around March and April, and especially around the end of the year, because then Pluto and Uranus, those planets, are really forcing Mars, or Mars is forcing Pluto and Uranus. So you can see a lot of changes going on around those times. And for you around that, it's an opportunity to show who you are, to show the Gemini that you are the, you know, Geminis are so funny, I think. I don't know one Gemini that is not a funny person. And they have this lightness around them. Unless they have 20 planets in like Scorpio or in Cancer. But they have this lightness around them, and they have this, they joy in life. And you are going to put action into joy of life. You are really going to, you know, being more, if you are the kind of person, the kind of Gemini that has not been able to spend a lot of time with your children, it will shift in 2014. If you are the kind of person that has not been able to get in touch with what you are all about on a deep soul level, on the passionate level of you, you will deal with it, you will show it in 2014. So, I wish you a very good year for 2014 for you Geminis. Wishing you all the best. Have a good year. Bye bye.